Okay, today we are going to talk about a way to create a pinning chart for a small format interchangeable core in literally seconds. It's completely independent of any software, Excel spreadsheets, websites. You're not going to need any of sort of the worksheets we have on our website. All you're going to need is a scrap piece of paper and a pen and the ability to do some basic math. Now, if you use any of those methods and prefer them, that's fine. This is just another way to do it, and you can either try it out or just say, no, I'm not going to use it at all. That's fine. Just showing you different ways. This method, I'm not going to say I came up with, but I've never seen it done elsewhere. But surely somebody along the line has produced a similar, I guess, approach to pinning these and creating the chart. I developed this method probably 08, 09. From reading Bill Link's books about small format interchangeable cores, as well as A.J. Hoffman and Billy B. Edwards' Core of the Matter book, which goes over not only small format but also pretty much every interchangeable core. In each of those books, they kind of show you different formulas that go beyond what we've traditionally ever seen in the pinning worksheets. For example, the one put together by Falcon and even some by Best. They kind of simplify it by showing you a few formulas, especially decoding formulas. For example, if you were to remove a core and measure the pins, they've got a few formulas in there that can help you figure things out. Today's example, we're going to be doing two of them. The first we're going to talk about is just a simple control and change for an A2 system. Actually, I'm going to write that here, A2, so we don't miss anything. This can be used for A3 and A4 systems. The only thing you have to do is change two values, and we'll go over that in a bit. But I mean, if you wanted to do any small format interchangeable core work and you needed to create a pinning system, this method is going to work no matter the format. So let's say that you're on a job, you've got a rekey that needs to be done, maybe at a retail location, maybe it's a corporate client, or whatever, and you've got the blanks, you've got the pin kit, and you want to create the pinning chart for it. Like I said, you've got other methods and means at your disposal, websites, software, Excel spreadsheets, whatever, worksheets. But here's another way to do it. So in each core, I guess you could say, you got different types of pins. Really, you've got the bottom pin links, which interact with the key itself, and then you've got the top pin links. Now, these positions and usage determine what we call them. Obviously, if the function of the top pin is to, what's a good word for it, allow for the use of a master key, then it becomes a master pin. The pin that gets you from either the bottom or the master pin up to the control shear line is called the build-up pin. Sometimes you'll hear it called the control pin. And then the very top one is the top pin for obvious reasons. Now, on a properly pinned small format A2 system, the total value of each stack, no matter if it's master keyed or not, is going to be 23. And that number is derived by simply adding up your pin segments. A2 goes from 0 to 9 for the bottom pin. Top pin is 1 to 19. So once we add those all together, they should equal 23, but we'll go over that a little bit more in a second. Let's start doing this first. Since we only have a change key, we don't have any master pins, so we can correspond the change key cuts to the bottom pins. So in this example, it's going to be 6, 5, 3, 1, 0, 6, 7. And since it's no master pins, we can eliminate that. I guess I didn't really have to include that, but I want to get you in the habit of including all four, and even if they're not used, you can cross them out. Okay, so we've got the bottom pins. Now what I like to do is go to the top ones. And the way that you can determine the top pins really quickly is all you do is you take the control key cut and subtract 13 from it. So I can put 13 across all of these if I wanted, but I'm not going to, just for brevity purposes. So to get the top pin for this particular chamber where the control cut is 4, we subtract 4 from 13. That gives us 9. The next one gives us 12. The next one gives us 6. Next one is 8. next one is 5, next one is 11, and the next one is 12. Okay, so right off the bat, we've got 2 of the 3 pin segments. Now, like I said, we got to get to 23. So if our 2 known quantities equal, in this case, 15, well, we just have to subtract 15 from 23 to get the unknown quantity, which is the build-up pin. So 23 minus 15 is 8. And we add the next 2, that's 17. 23 minus 17 is 6. Next one is 9. 23 minus 9 is 14. Next one again is 9, 8, and 1, so it's going to be 14 again here. The next one is 5, and we're going to add up to get 18, which is a pretty big one. Next one is 11 and 6, which becomes 17. 23 minus 17 is 6. And in the final one, we've got 12 and 7, which becomes 19. 23 minus 19 is 4. So in a matter of seconds, I guess a little bit longer because I was explaining the whole process, we've got the pinning chart for an A2 system using those keys, that change key, that control key. Now, before we progress to a master key example, I want to show you a few things that would matter in another formatted system. So for A3 systems, the pin stack is going to equal 16. For A4, your pin stack is going to equal 14. So in those instances, the 23 that we use at the end to find the unknown becomes either 14 for A4 or 16 for A3. Now the numbers change as well up here in the top pins. For an A3 system, that number is going to become a 9. And I guess I can write this over here so we can figure it out as we go along. For a A4 system, that 13 becomes an 8. And so you can figure it out just by changing those numbers. Pretty simple, easy to do. So what I'm going to do is try to carefully balance the camera while I pull this out of the way. Well, that didn't work at all very well, but here's the next one. Put the camera back in the tripod. Okay, so same thing, except this time we've got a master key to worry about. Now on this one, if you notice, the first 3 cuts, I guess from tip, are 6, 5, 3. They're the same. They're constant cuts. So we're going to put 6, 5, 3 in the bottom, and since master pins are not needed, we can go ahead and cross those out. Now, for master keyed interchangeable cores, let's ignore the build-up pin and the top pin. Let's treat it as if it were a normal everyday cylinder and we were just master keying it. The same rules would apply in this instance. So the shallower of the 2 cuts in position 4 is 1, so that'll be our bottom pin. The difference between 1 and 7 is going to be 6. That's our master pin. Going to the next one, shallowest cut's a 0. The difference between a 0 and 2 is a 2. Next one, the shallowest cut's 0. And then the difference is 6. And then the last one, shallowest is 5. The difference is 2. And if that's a little foreign to you, then maybe you don't do a lot of master keying. But you know, that's for another day, another time. If you do master keying, then that hopefully made sense to you. If not, I don't know what to tell you. Need to brush up. Okay, so we're going to go back and do the top pins like we did last time. This time first, they're going to be the same ones because I'm using the same control pins, control key cuts. But let's just go through it again. 13 minus 4 is 9. 13 minus 1 is 12. 13 minus 7 is 6. 13 minus 5 is 8. 13 minus had a mental lapse there. 13 minus 8 is 5. 13 minus 2 is 11. And 13 minus 1 is 12. Okay, so again, we've got the missing pin segments to account for, and again, we're going to use that 23. Now, on these two, or the first 3 chambers, I guess we can just easily knock those out because we remember them from last time. But if not, 6 and 9 is 15. That gives us 8 to make 23. 5 and 12 is 17. We need 6 to make 23. And then 3 and 6 are 9, and we need 14 to give us 23. Now on these chambers that are master pen, what we're going to need to do is add up all 3 instead of just these 2 we had last time. We're going to add up all 3 and then subtract from 23. So we've got 8 and 6, which is 14. Add 1 becomes 15. 23 minus 15 gives us 8. This next one, 5, 2, 0 is 7. 23 minus 7 is 16. Next one is 11, 6, and 0. That's 17. 23 minus 17 is 6. And the last one, 12 and 2 become 14. Plus 5 becomes 19. 23 minus 19 is 4. So that's how you can knock those out really quick, especially when you're in the field. You don't have one of the worksheet handy and maybe not have the electronic tools at your disposal to do it. This is a really quick and simple and easy way. I'd invite you to try it out a few times if you've never done it before. And if you're not that comfortable with it, you can use one of your backup methods or something that you're already using, maybe the software or the Excel spreadsheets or whatnot, just to verify that what you're doing is the right way, because you don't want to mess it up and have to restart over. I mean, I guess we went over that last time with pinning them up, how you can check yourself as you go along. But in this instance, we still want to verify until we get comfortable with it. But like I said, that's all there is to it pretty much. I know we've been doing a lot of small format cores, but like I said, these videos, the topics come from people, and that's just been what I've been requested lately. I think the next one we're going to be doing is about stamping keys. Some people, I guess, wanted some tips or some information on those, so I'll share what I have. But until that time, feel free to ask anything. I do know access control, and I'll do my best to find something to teach you in the shop, because I'm not going to go out and do it in the field just out of respect and privacy for our customers. And plus, I don't necessarily agree with that, but if that's what you do, more power to you. But I'm really good at access control. I think I'm going to work on a video soon about servicing Sargent mortise locks, specifically their 8200, because they've had 3 generations and about almost 40 years now. But other than that, keys, cylinders, locks, maybe go over some terminology to show you the different parts of maybe a cylindrical lever set or a deadbolt or something like that. Whatever you got, just reach out to me on Twitter, comment below, find me on the website, whatever. Anyways, that's the, I guess, technique I've got. We'll see you next time.